18 years ago, a news center was birthed, charged to collect balanced, credible, and accurate news and information. A task tested and proven to be a world-class example of news presentation where truths are told. We lead by example and others follow. RCR News, the premier source of accurate news. Bulletin is up next.
Good evening, RCR News Bulletin at 7. My name is Olivia Bowen. Stories topping the headlines. The incoming ruling Unity Party has petitioned the Supreme Court of Liberia calling for the recusal of Chief Justice Yaneyo from sitting and participating in the determination of the party's rate of prohibition filed before the Supreme Court recently. The former chairman of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission has pledged to scrutinize President-elect Joseph Boakar's efforts in combating corruption and human rights violations. The Liberian Institute of Certified Public Accountants has reacted to claim by youth activist Martin Colley that the LISPA lacks the authority to grant NNCBA credential. And away from Liberia, the BBC is reporting that evidence of widespread abuse and torture by the founder of one of the world's biggest Christian evangelical churches has been uncovered by the BBC. Those were the headlines, not the news in detail. The incoming ruling Unity Party has petitioned the Supreme Court of Liberia calling for the recusal of Chief Justice Yaneyo from sitting and participating in the determination of the party's rate of prohibition filed before the Supreme Court recently. The party's non-count application, among other things, alleged that Justice Yo wrote a letter dated December 27, 2023 advised President Weah to grant a request of Associate Justice Joseph Nangwe for early retirement, thereby creating a vacancy on the Supreme Court bench and to invoke Article 68 of the Constitution to have Nangwe replaced. They maintained that as a result of his communication, Chief Justice Yo is legally disqualified, describing her action as a usurpation of her function as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. The Unity Party further argued in their petition that the request by Justice Nangwe for early retirement is the beginning of a process and not an event, meaning that the Supreme Court still has 5 justices in keeping with the Constitution, adding that the nomination and confirmation of Councillor Musadin as a 6th member of the Supreme Court will be in violation of the Constitution. Last week, according to RCR judicial correspondent, the Unity Party filed a petition before the Justice and Chambers prohibiting the confirmation of President Weah's nominee Musadin as Associate Justice. The stay order was issued by Justice James Eto Howard Wolokoli, thus preventing the confirmation of the Senate. Meanwhile, legal arguments into the Unity Party's petition is expected this Tuesday, January 9, before the full bench of the Supreme Court at the Temple of Justice. The former chairman of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission has pledged to scrutinize President-elect Joseph Boakar's efforts in combating corruption and human rights violations. During a live appearance on a local radio talk show in Monrovia, Councillor Jerome Vordia, who is now executive director of the International Justice Group based in the United States, said the upcoming list of individuals under scrutiny includes government officials from the executive and judiciary, journalists, executives of businesses, and mid-level employees. He emphasized that sanctions should be imposed on those who have acquired substantial wealth in a relatively short period. Councillor Vodia shared that his organization has deployed individuals in Liberia actively working to initiate legal proceedings aimed at seizing properties of those believed to have clandestinely acquired wealth in the last 6 years. The Liberian Institute of Certified Public Accountants has reacted to claim by youth activist Martin Colley that the LISPA lacks the authority to grant any CPA credential. In his argument, Colley questioned the CPA designated to Deputy Finance Minister Samora Wolokoli by the Liberian Institute of Certified Public Accountants, stating that the CPA is membership-based and not academically earned. In his Facebook post on January 5 of this year, Martin Colley also stated that the Liberian Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Ghana are not globally recognized. But responding to Colley during a press conference on Monday in Monrovia, LISPA President Victor Tawan refuted the claims by the youth activist, stating that the LISPA and RCAG are members of the International Federation of Accountants, the global body that regulates the accountancy profession. Tawan stated that while it is true the LISPA is not an academic institution, it is a professional organization that is engaged in training and education as listed in the Act creating the institute as such. The CPA designation of Samora Wolokoli is illegal. In another development, the LISPA president has called on President-elect Joseph Waka to hire local accountancy firms in Liberia to conduct an audit on the stewardship of the George Weah's administration. President-elect Waka recently announced plans to hire foreign audit firms to conduct an audit of the outgoing Weah administration, but Victor Tawan wants Liberian firms be hired or form partnership with the foreign firms to perform these audits in line with international best practices. Integrity Watch Liberia has expressed concerns regarding certain members of the 54th legislature allegedly influenced to override a veto by outgoing President George Weah. This veto pertains to the investment incentive agreement between Liberia and Fawani Brothers Corporation. Integrity Watch Executive Director Harold Adu, in a press conference held in Monrovia, revealed findings from the organization's investigations. The probe uncovered alarming issues behind the presidential veto, citing significant inconsistencies in the agreement's language, structure, and objective. Adu expressed concern that the current state of the investment incentive agreement appears to favor Fawani Brothers Corporation, potentially jeopardizing local industries, competitiveness, and fostering a monopoly detrimental to Liberians. Integrity Watch Liberia questioned the motives behind lawmakers overriding the veto, particularly emphasizing the duty-free privileges for importing crude palm oil for 3 years. The organization stressed the need for incentives that primarily benefit Liberians rather than private individuals. Furthermore, Integrity Watch Liberia expressed disappointment in lawmakers with perceived vested interest in the Fawani investment deal. Integrity Watch has meanwhile issued a warning that any attempts to nullify the deal may lead to public exposure of individual lawmakers involved. Teachers and education workers in Gbapolu County are urging the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission and the General Auditing Commission to intervene in the National Teachers Association of Liberia. They are seeking a comprehensive audit of the institution over the past 5 years. Moba Masakwe, former district secretary of the Bopolu Education District in Gbapolu County chapter of NTAL, appealed to both the LAG and GSC during a press conference held in Monrovia. Masakwe also called on the majority bloc of the National Executive Committee of NTAL to support efforts for accountability within the association. Masakwe further urged the LCC and GSC to freeze all accounts of the National Teachers Association of Liberia and various bank spending and audit of the current leadership. He reminded due-paying members of the MTAL, particularly teachers and education workers, to actively demand accountability within the organization. If you just joining us, a reminder that you are listening to a bulletin of news coming to you from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. In more news, a senior Liberian cleric, Reverend James Dolto, has described Liberians' low pace of service to God as disgusting. Reverend Dolto of the Blessed Hope Assembly of God Church along the Rappersfield Highway attributed the actions of Liberians to lack of commitment, value of their jobs, and homes above their Creator. According to the Blessed Hope Assembly of God pastor, Ghanaians and Nigerians are flourishing because of their unwavering commitment to the service of God compared to Liberians who believe in serving God on a seasonal basis. At the same time, Reverend James Dolto has called on Liberian pastors to desist from acts that are contrary to the things of God, noting that they are to be seen as examples for others to follow. He lamented that many Liberian clergymen are allegedly found in gay practices, as well as other negative vices that have the potential to discourage those who are yet to know God to be born again. Reverend Dolto, who vowed to remain robust, said he will continue to speak against societal ills until Liberia is transformed. In a related development, Reverend James Dolto has outlined gains made by the Blessed Hope Assembly of God Church during the year 2023. Reverend Dolto, who called on other churches to emulate the good example of his ministry, said the church has consistently identified with community dwellers in every sphere of life over the years. He said it is the church's corporate social responsibility to ensure that the community feels the physical and spiritual impact of the ministry. Away from Liberia, evidence of widespread abuse and torture by the founder of one of the world's biggest Christian evangelical churches has been uncovered by the BBC. Dozens of ex-Senegal Church of All Nations members, 5 British alleged atrocities, including rape and forced abortions by Nigeria's late TB Joshua. The allegations of abuse in a secretive Lagos compound span almost 20 years. The Senegal Church of All Nations did not respond to the allegations but said previous claims have been unfounded. TB Joshua, who died in 2021, was a charismatic and hugely successful preacher and televangelist who had an immense global following. To end this news program, a recap of the top stories. The incoming ruling Unity Party has petitioned the Supreme Court of Liberia calling for the recusal of Chief Justice Yaneyo from sitting and participating in the determination of the party's great fight before the Supreme Court recently. The former chairman of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission has pledged to scrutinize President-elect Joseph Walker's efforts in combating corruption and human rights violations. The Liberian Institute of Certified Public Accountants has reacted to claim by youth activist Martin Colley that a LESPA lacks the authority to grant any CPA credential. In a way from Liberia, the BBC is reporting that evidence of widespread abuse and torture by the founder of one of the world's biggest Christian evangelical churches has been uncovered by the BBC. That's IRTN News Bulletin at 7. My name is Olivia Bowen. Good evening.
Starting today, why not have a little more fun? Why not use money this easily? Why not get even closer to family? Why not work how you've always wanted? Fun, money, family, work. No network keeps you connected to it all, quite like Orange. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
Let me make sure I got all the sanitary items I need. I'm checking my list. Oh yes, one more item. Let me have a big bottle of Dettol, across the board.
Yes, it. The total amount is 3,000 LD.
Okay, let me give you your money. Hey, my people, I can't find my purse. Lola, I left it on my kitchen table. My husband is rushing me too much. What's I'll do now?
Don't worry, Costa Homo. You can pay with your phone. Yes, the code here on the wall.
Awesome. Yes, I do have money on my phone.
With Orange Money, making payments for goods at your favorite store with your merchant is as easy as ABC. Dial *144#, select currency, select Pay with Orange Money, and follow the instructions. With Orange Money, life is easier. No stress.